Without wasting any more time, let us welcome you to the Chat Network. And today we've got our regular slot with Coach Zaid Ismail. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Coach Zaid.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing?
We are well, thank you. All good. Coping with the weather and the temperature changes and the bipolar dress code we have to adhere to.
Totally. It's quite a bit of a mind meld challenge kind of thing, eh?
Absolutely. So, Coach Zaid, today we don't want to waste any time. We're talking about betrayal.
Yeah, surviving it especially, because a lot of people, they like to hold on to that bitterness of betrayal, and it defines them for the rest of their life.
So what are we defining as betrayal?
Oh, that's such a broad one. Everyone thinks betrayal is just about infidelity.
Yeah, like cheating.
Yeah, no. There's much more subtle forms of betrayal that have much greater impact than that. And it's the kind of betrayal that where we have reason to believe that someone understands what's important to us, and they deliberately violate what's important to us, or they deliberately neglect it or ignore it.
And there are warning signs before that, right?
They usually are, but also the biggest thing about betrayal is the assumptions we make about why we think they betrayed us.
Okay, all right. So let's take a deep dive today. No promises that people won't be triggered today.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be triggered today.
Why is that?
Because people don't like to hear what their contribution is towards a betrayal, right? I mean, the betrayal part is the easy part. That's who's right, who's wrong, who was underhanded, who wasn't. No problem. How did we get to that point?
Yeah.
How did we get to a point where we didn't realize that we were pushing someone so far that eventually they didn't value our relationship with them, that they decided to act outside of the relationship? And before anyone tells me that I'm condoning betrayal or dishonesty or infidelity, I'm not. And this is a critically important thing, as always with all conversations, but especially with this one. Just because we're trying to understand why we got to a certain point, it doesn't mean we're condoning the people who behave badly at that point. We just need to understand why. Otherwise, if you don't understand why, you will repeat that mistake in future relationships, and then you'll convince yourself that life is just unfair.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important that we unpack it. Most of the time, if you say this person, like what happened, no, for example, this person cheated or whatever, then it's like, automatically it's like, oh, they're the villain. Okay, you did nothing wrong, and there's nothing, you keep your head up high and you carry on,
Yes.
But like we said, what we don't repair, we are doomed to repeat. So also betrayal comes in many forms, right? It's not just infidelity. We're talking about betrayal in business.
There's betrayal in business, there's betrayal in sibling relationships, in parent-child relationships, in child-parent relationships. There's betrayal all over the place, right? But we're so focused on the kind of overt, blatant, obvious kind of betrayals that we don't realize how we might be betraying other people's trust in us.
What about betraying yourself?
Oh, yes, of course, absolutely. And that's where it starts, right? You first betray yourself before you are willing to betray someone else.
Betrayal of self, and just, that it all starts somewhere. And what if you witnessed betrayal in your life? You grew up in a home where parents were, like blatantly dishonest to each other. And how does that influence your view on betrayal, your character, how does it define you?
That's always a fascinating topic for me, because the one thing we cannot have certainty about is what someone is going to take away from that experience.
Yeah.
Some people look at that and they think everyone does it, so it's okay. And other people will look at it and think, I saw how that was so unnecessary, unpleasant, hurtful, whatever, so I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
And both of those are actual extreme responses to it. The healthy response to it is understanding why it is that they maintained that kind of level of dishonesty or insecurity in their relationship, so that you don't repeat the mistakes with good intention.
And today we're talking about surviving
Betrayal. Surviving betrayal is all about what you take from the experience. It's not about the experience itself.
How do people survive?
I'm not a fan of survival, right? Because survival means that you're just like happy that you're still breathing.
Yeah.
No, we need to be living, not just breathing,
Yeah.
not just existing or coping from day to day. So if you're in survival mode, not only are you not going to enjoy life, you're not going to find sweetness in life, but you're also going to dull down the experiences for the people around you, because they're going to feel this heaviness all the time,
Yes.
because life is so tough, we have to survive. You don't know how difficult it was, you don't know what they did to me, you don't know who treated me this way, that way, and the other, and you're in victim mode. So surviving is not the issue. When we say surviving betrayal, it's like, how do you rise up again after it?
I
Like,
like that better. How do you rise
yeah,
after you've been betrayed?
it's like if you're drowning, you're not going to try to keep protecting yourself from drowning, you're going to learn to swim,
Yeah.
right? So the same thing here is that we don't want to keep fighting the flood and the tides of life. We want to be able to ride it.
That's very profound. And when we talk about betrayal, it's not just about infidelity where you're cheating with someone else. What about people who use drugs? And, I often come across people who say that's like having an affair because you lie, you cheat, you hide things, you
Mm-hmm.
take finances, and the other partner could feel betrayed that you constantly dishonest. So it's not where you're cheating, but you're betraying me by being dishonest.
True. And then the dishonesty is because of the shame of the person who's now hooked onto the drugs or the addictive behavior. So because of the shame, they try to avoid having to deal with it or face it or get their partner to look at them in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And the shame is about betrayal of the self, because you feel shame when you know you let yourself down, when you compromised or violated your own value system or your own principles.
Yeah,
And then someone else is also looking at you in the same way and just doubles the shame, right?
yeah.
But I find another interesting dynamic to that kind of scenario where a partner is using drugs, for example, is it's not just the fact that they're using drugs and they are not valuing the sanctity and the value of what they have in the relationship, but it's that the other person, the partner who's on the receiving end, they have reason to question why is it that they're not good enough for you to be better than that.
Yeah,
Because we all want to bring out the best in our partners.
true.
So when we can't understand why we're not enough reason for the next person to be a good person to us, that feels like betrayal of trust.
Yeah.
And the biggest betrayal that happens, or the most common one, is the betrayal of the social contract. And social contracts are established all the time without us even thinking about it. A social contract is the kind of thing that I have expectations of you because I have a legitimate reason to believe that it's a reasonable expectation of you. You don't know I have that expectation, but common sense and common decorum and understanding means that you should know that I have a right to that expectation. Like a husband and wife, a partner, a sibling. I should have a reasonable expectation that you're going to treat me with respect, that you're going to honor me, that you're going to protect my dignity, right? The moment any of those are violated, even though there wasn't a blatant promise or commitment about it, that's a violation of the trust that's inherent in that relationship. So those social contracts, they get violated all the time without us realizing it. When someone knows that we know something that would be in their favor because they're being accused of something unfair by someone else, and we remain silent, that's a betrayal of trust.
Yeah, yeah.
And more often than not, it's when we remain silent when someone knows that we are capable of saying something or doing something. That's the biggest betrayal.
It's funny you say that because I want to bring something in here. What happens if there's a family dynamic and it's abusive, and the person reports this or goes to get counseling or goes to get help, and the family sees this as betrayal? Why are you talking out of the house? You shouldn't be. You're spoiling our name, and that's also betrayal.
It is, but who's being betrayed more and who values loyalty and that horrible word, is it? Who values that over honesty and justice? What's right? What are we paying forward when we do that? So when you protect family izzat and family honor at all costs, what are you paying forward to the next generation?
Yeah,
You're paying forward a very violated value system that they won't have reason to honor.
causing more harm.
Yes, and then you cause harm for generations to come, not just for the generation you're impacting right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a difficult balance to strike depending on severity of the case and depending on the complexity and the actual detail. But there's a very delicate balance to strike between, okay, let's protect our honor, but we have to deal with it meaningfully internally.
Meaningfully, internally.
right? But if that is not forthcoming, if it's swept under the rug, like no, that's an elder, or that's a this, or that's a that, and that's why you must just keep quiet because you want to maintain the peace in that. You don't have peace when you don't have justice.
Yeah.
It's impossible to have peace when you don't have justice.
Yeah.
So if you see it, and this is one thing I notice across the board, we always talk about mental illness and emotional duress and everything else.
Yeah.
Just take a step back and notice that every single time we experience any emotional duress, not just anger, it's related to a feeling of being treated unfairly. Justice.
Yeah.
So the moment you violate justice and fairness in a relationship, that feels like betrayal. If you know I'm extending myself to be there for you and you take it for granted, that's betrayal. If you don't reciprocate it when you know I need someone to lean on, that's betrayal.
And I'm so glad that you're breaking it down, because people view betrayal as the final act.
No, the final act is just the accumulation of all that feelings of either being let down, disappointed, or betrayed. And that sense of betrayal, it's that I made it clear to you that this is important to me, but yet you keep taking it for granted or dismissing it or ignoring it. That's betrayal. So if you want to look at the quality of your relationships, look at how much you're taking for granted versus what has been clearly explained to you is important. And then you'll understand why it is that the other person might be responding the way they do. And we touched on this previously, I think, where we don't consider the impact we have on someone when we see their reaction to us. We just assume that their reaction is their problem.
Yeah. Then we deal with the reaction.
And that's also betrayal. When I deny the impact I have on you and I just hold you accountable only for your action and behavior towards me, that's a betrayal of the trust that I shared with you.
And although it always comes down to couples, it always comes down to the family dynamic. Betrayal in business.
Yes.
I mean, you've got business partners, you've got accountants who have betrayed companies. We hear it all the time. Siblings who go into business together and things go sour.
And then they want to say ridiculous things like, "Oh, don't take it personally. It was just business."
Yeah.
No.
It's nothing
then
personal.
what does it say about you? If you have a double standard between how you conduct yourself in your personal space versus your business space, your professional space, you've got soul searching to do. Because that means that things are they open to compromise. They're negotiable. So who are you actually then? Do you even know who you are if you are willing to violate your own code of ethics between different scenarios?
Yeah.
When it's self-serving, when it's going to be something that's going to give you a return on investment for something that you want to gain the advantage over or whatever it is, it becomes a power trip.
Yeah. And a code of ethics is it's something that's consistent throughout your life. It doesn't change according to the circumstance or the location.
Yes.
Because we have that floppy, flippy flop kind of, no, it can apply in business, but not in family.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that creates a lot of conflict as well.
And that is the very basis of that word we don't like to use, authenticity.
Ah, yes.
Right? If you're going to flip-flop in your value system, in your principles, in your ethics, between your personal and professional spaces or your social spaces versus your intimate spaces and things like that, then you really don't have a backbone. Then you have a rubber spine. And if you have a rubber spine, don't complain when you don't have good quality relationships, when things really matter, when life is really tough and you don't know where to turn to and you got no one to lean on. Because think about it, right? If you lean on someone with a rubber spine, they're not going to support you. They're going to lean over and let you fall.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. What you lack in self-respect, what you lack in how you hold yourself accountable, you will not be able to give it into the relationship.
You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like the inverse of that. That means that what you're giving is what you have. So what you're showing up with in the relationship, that's your internal narrative.
Hey,
that's how you see yourself.
People are big trouble now. What are you receiving? Do you know?
So if you want to hold yourself accountable and someone complains that they're experiencing you in a certain way, then you must be willing to understand why it is that the way they're experiencing you is different to how you intend them to experience you.
Yes. This thing of I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah, so just get over it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention. Yeah.
Yes, no one's got bad intentions. Every intention is supposedly a saintly intention.
Yes. And you know what they say about the road to hell?
Paved
Good
with
intentions.
golden and engraved good intentions.
Absolutely. So, how do people thrive? I don't even want to use the word survive. Like, after betrayal, like there's life after being betrayed.
Let's just consider what does the betrayal actually do,
Okay, let's
right?
do that.
At the moment of being betrayed, of realizing that someone has violated my trust, because that's what it is, right? It's a sacred trust that has been violated. So that trust is violated. Immediately, I'm jumping to conclusions about why. And usually, the most common conclusion we jump to is that it's because of what they think of me, because of how they devalued me,
Yeah.
because of how they want to humiliate me, right? We make it into ourselves. And then we take that away from that, and then we go into the next relationship, making sure that we can protect ourselves from anyone else treating us that way.
Yeah.
And that's how you take your past and you get it to contaminate your future.
Yeah.
And then the next person is responsible for making up for something they had nothing to do with.
Yeah. And what happens if you've just taken your baggage and checked it in at this counter?
Long haul.
You're like, and your stuff also added to
Yes.
this.
Stopovers and everything. That baggage is going with you.
Oh my goodness. And you are just the volunteer sucker who has signed up to help cart it all around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't realize you're doing it because you think like, hey, I need to protect
Yes.
myself because no one's going to protect me.
Yes.
When you have that kind of thinking, you're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah. And you have people who are moving from one unhealed situation into somebody who's not tainted by any of this, and you bring the storm with you.
Right. And what do you normally get drawn to when you're in that space? You get drawn to someone who shares your struggle, someone else was also betrayed, so they understand. And now you've got two people who has baggage from different betrayals, from different relationships that are expecting each other to compensate for what it is that was done to them before.
Two wounds screaming at each other.
Yeah, talk about festering.
Yes. Infection control, please. So, if someone has experienced any type of betrayal, they need to talk about it. They need to unpack how it's affected them. They need to evaluate, like, Abi, how has this changed me? Has it changed
Yes. And sometimes they need to talk about it, but more importantly, they need to understand why it is that they perceive it that way. Right? It's not about condoning, it's not about defending or justifying behavior. It's about seeing people for who they are so that when they behave badly, you can easily determine, was it something I did or is it because they were going through something?
Yeah, yeah.
And more often than not, we are going through something in ourselves and then we feel as if the people around us don't understand, so we lash out. And that feels like betrayal.
Yeah.
But we made incorrect assumptions, and now you're making an incorrect assumption about why you're on the receiving end of that lashing out.
You know what I'm thinking of? The children
Yes.
who are caught in the crossfire. Me or your father, me or your mother.
Oh, yes. The worst thing you can do to children is force them to choose. And even if you don't deliberately force them to choose, just giving them reason to feel as if they're going to be in trouble if they choose one or the other, or if they're nice to the one and they're not nice to the other, or if they want to have fun with one that is now in the dog box and they're not supposed to. That's a violation of that trust that your children have in you, because now you just took the safe space and you destroyed it.
Yeah. And that is a huge thing for me, because unhealed people are dangerous people. People walking around with their open wounds and the war in between. This is the collateral damage.
I've always maintained, and I still maintain very, very strongly, that victims make the worst oppressors.
Victims make the worst oppressors.
Always. Every single oppressor is a victim in his mind. You don't behave with injustice and aggression and all of that if you don't think that you have some divinely ordained moral war that you're fighting. And the only reason you have that perception of yourself, that you're the one that's going to correct the wrongs of society, and that is because you're in the victim headspace. You need to be very careful what you're taking from your experiences. Otherwise, you project it onto the people around you, and you project it onto your children, and you raise them to believe that the world is a bad place, and they're going to then adopt a posture that's going to look for that, and they're going to just have a very difficult time in life.
And that's where your empowerment lies. What you take from a situation. You don't have to absorb every single thing that happens around you. There are things that you can pick and choose to take from they say, choose your lesson.
Yes.
But to absorb everything and then go back completely bullet hole ridden because you
Hmm.
took it all and you took it all upon yourself.
And that's the thing, right? You're not going to be able to choose consciously and clearly what you're taking from it if you're licking your wounds. So if you're busy licking your wounds and feeling sorry for yourself and need the whole world to know how badly that person treated you and everything else, what are you doing to yourself? How are you shaping your own sense of self and your self-image and your self-esteem? And what are you asking people to see you as?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh no, bichari, bicharo, look at me, I've got it so bad.
yeah,
Why don't you feel sorry for me? Don't
yeah,
expect more from me.
yeah.
Where's your own self-respect?
And I think that is where people also they seem to build their identity right there.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but you know what I've been through. Every time you talk to this person, they're like, but I went through. You don't understand what I went through. And you're there, but I know what you went through. I also know that you can be better.
Yes, and you went through it. You're not going through it. You went through it. So let it be went. Don't let it be coming. It's gone. It's done. Move on.
That is just too much for me right now. It went, let it be went. Can you please put that? You're always putting amazing quotes up. Can you just put it there in inverted commas? It happened to you. It went. It's done. Let it be went. Yeah, because why must you build an entire identity around what happened to you? And you'll realize when you heal that it was about them. It was never about you.
Yes. And if you had a meaningful contribution towards that failure in the relationship, own it.
Yeah.
If you're going to avoid it, that means you're judging yourself and are you preemptively defending yourself because you know others have reason to judge you.
Yeah.
And that's how you become shaped by that experience.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. Take accountability for the role you play in your own suffering.
Yes.
Like, own that, okay, you know what, this person, what they did was wrong. We're not condoning it. However, what did I do to bring that person to that point? Did I contribute in any way? Or was it a decision they just woke up and made one day
Yeah.
that they're going to betray me? And if that's the case, I need to know what to fix in me so that I don't do this in the future, or I pick up the warning signs or the red flags, or I'm able to be better. There's nothing you can't talk about. There's nothing you can't fix.
You know, we love to tell everyone how we're being tested. Life is testing me.
Yes. It's all a test.
Yeah. At which point are you going to consider how it is that you might be adding the ingredients that creates the test for yourself?
You're going to make a lot of people cross right now. I hope no one is cooking, because tonight the chili slipped. This thing of how can they say that? Because I did nothing. I've been the perfect spouse.
Yeah. No. Were you the perfect... You giving me reason to trigger people, and I'm going to get hate after this. But were you the perfect spouse according to how you wanted to be the perfect spouse, or according to how your spouse wanted you to be their partner?
Mm-hmm.
Did you show up the way they needed you to show up or wanted you to show up, or did you show up the way you wanted them to appreciate you showing up?
Mm-hmm.
That's a betrayal of trust.
Oh, yeah.
If I tell you that I want this kind of lightness in the home, I want this kind of casual kind of ease of movement and things, and you going around like putting things back in its place and taking the cup I just had a sip of water from and putting it in the basin and washing it and packing it away, and then I have to look for another cup, and then you complaining about the fact that I took another cup out and I just washed the dishes. No. No, that's not being the perfect partner or the perfect spouse or the perfect homemaker. Perfection is about the balance you strike with each other, not what you insist the other person must appreciate about you.
Yeah. And if you have to insist, there's something wrong.
Yes, because then you're a dictator
Yeah.
while you're claiming to be the victim.
Yeah.
See, victims, oppressors, same.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, there's a lot of this going around right now. Betrayal is not just cheating.
No, it isn't.
Like, I can't say this enough. Betrayal is also that things that you're not allowing me to express myself.
Yes.
You're not allowing me to be myself. You are critical of everything I do. It's like a betrayal. Like, you found me like this. Now you're trying
Yes.
to change me. What's the problem?
Yeah.
So we are definitely hitting the nails on the head, and I do think nobody should be cooking at this time. Sit down, stay calm, and listen, because you played a part in the engineering, in the execution, and it's not just, that's just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes. And again, we're not condoning dishonest behavior or betrayals of trust. We're
No.
not. But you need to understand that you have impact and that you also created opportunity for someone to exploit your naivety or your blind trust. You have to keep things real.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be keeping it real if you're fixated on how it is that you need them to appreciate how much you're trying.
And also, when it comes to betrayal and people coming out of it, some people can forgive, forget, and go back and build better.
Yes.
There is I find, in my opinion, that society feels, why he cheated, why you went back.
Yes. But how do you get to that point? How do you get to the point of being able to reconcile and agree to try again? It can't be because the one person is going to be groveling for the rest of their life for forgiveness while the other person is going to remind them all the time about, remember what you did to me.
Yeah.
Because that's diminishing the dignity of the person you're with. So then you don't really care for them. You're just needing them to stroke your ego so that you can be reassured about the fact that they did that to you.
Yeah. It's daily, it's the daily ego stroke.
Yeah.
That they need.
Persecution.
Yeah, it's persecution.
So if you want to make someone pay for the rest of their life for something that they did to you, then you must be willing to let someone else make you pay for the rest of your life for something you did to them. And there's not a single one of us that are so naive and so innocent and so sweet and sincere of soul that we didn't hurt or offend someone else.
Yeah, of course.
Or betray. Because betrayal doesn't always happen because of a deliberate effort to want to betray someone. Sometimes we do that deliberately because we want to get back at them, which means that we already believe we were betrayed, so now we're going to give you a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah.
Betrayal often happens because we're oblivious. We have a blind spot. We don't realize the impact we have. We didn't pay attention to what someone said was important to them. It's unintentional more than ever. The person who doesn't take honor and integrity seriously, they've betrayed themselves already. Now, if you can see the pattern in their behavior, you can see they don't take honor and integrity and commitment seriously, and they're whimsical about it, and you think, no, but I'm special, so maybe they'll be different with me, then you're betraying yourself and you're setting yourself up for betrayal, and then you can't complain when they're just true to their nature.
And people will never change. They are true to their nature.
People won't change unless they want to. And you can't make someone want to change.
Yeah.
You can only give them reason to understand why where they're at is not good.
Well, this is a very loaded conversation, and I'm so glad that we are having it. Let's go in for a short break and let the aunties go and drink some water. Cool off, cool off. We'll
Sugar water.
Sugar water for the shock. Can you believe these people? All right, we'll be back after this. You know what else is keeping you in the game? Or maybe out of it by the end of this. It is Coach Zaid talking about how do you survive betrayal. What about survival, or not survival, but betrayal by family members? The gossip mongering kind of betrayal that damages relationships.
I think I would actually go as far as suggesting that the most betrayals we would experience in life would be from family members. And it's not because family members are dishonest by nature. It's because of the absolute volume of expectations that we have of each other. And because there's so much, call it proximity, so much of familiarity and in-your-face kind of time between each other, you have that much more reason to believe that they should know. You should know better. You should know what's important to me. You should know how I feel about that. You should know how I felt about it the last time you did it and all of that.
Yeah.
And all of those sorts of things, it creates a high expectation. When the expectation is failed, that's when you feel betrayed.
Yeah.
You knew I expected more from you, and this is what you did. How many times don't parents tell their children that?
Yeah.
I expected more from you.
Oof.
Yeah. And then you feel so small.
Yeah. And then they're like, ish, I can't deal with the disappointment.
Yes. And then those words either stick or it turns you into a rebel.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to understand that the biggest impact we have are on the people that have the most proximity with us, the most FaceTime with us, the ones that share the most personal space with us, right? And because of familiarity in that space, we take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we only realize we took it for granted when it's too late.
And this is the thing, is that, like we were asking before we went into the break, are people able to come back from it and build better relationships without the resentment, like fully resolve everything and carry on? And some people even say, well, after that we got better, like we
Hmm.
worked on each other and ourselves and we are actually better.
Yes, I think it's absolutely possible, right? And what makes it, or what is required for it to be possible, is honesty and accountability on both parts, right? Again, I will keep reminding our listeners that we are not condoning anyone's dishonest behavior, but we're human. And if you can't see the human in the person that betrayed your trust, then you're not holding yourself to your own standard,
We've got the Madlanga Commission now.
right?
We've been betrayed.
Yes, and now even the ones that we thought were the ones saving us are also showing some signs of betrayal as well.
Exactly.
So that's the thing, right? We need to be careful about assuming that anyone is saintly and that we saintly.
Yeah.
You know, the old saying, we're all a hero in our own minds, or we're all legends in our own minds. Same thing here. We all think that we are so above reproach that, like, we did the right thing, and, you know, there was a good reason why I didn't do that or why I made that mistake. So if you were in that position, and the moment someone is listening to this and they're saying, no, but I would never be in that position because I wouldn't do that to someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably doing it to someone and you don't realize you're doing it to someone.
That big river in Egypt.
Yeah. So you need to genuinely consider, like, if you were in that position and you had a slip of judgment, how would you want someone to correct you and create space for you to do better? So we're not saying wipe the slate clean. I don't believe in wiping the slate clean. That's naive. That's just idealistic nonsense. It doesn't work. You have to recognize that something significant happened, and what you're taking from that and how you're going to build on that going forward is what's important. By pretending it didn't happen, you're just fooling yourself.
What if it's a one-sided healing thing? Like they like, yeah, you tell yourself whatever you need to keep yourself comfortable. You know, because we have that where people are like, no, we don't want to talk about what happened. I don't want to like it's over. I'm a new person.
And that is the evidence you need to confirm that you were never on the same page to begin with. So if you're not on the same page to begin with, but you think you have shared expectations and shared goals and shared aspirations, then you're setting yourself up for betrayal. And you're setting yourself up to betray without meaning to. Like I said, most of the betrayals are not intentional. It's not deliberate. It's not, I see what's important to you, but I'm going to show you I'm not going to do it. By the time you get to that point in your relationship, you already got bigger issues than just that betrayal.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you can be malicious or spiteful towards each other in that way, and you can quite happily justify it and defend it to yourself and to the people around you or whoever it is you're talking to about it, you got a problem. You're bitter. And your bitterness is your choice. It's not because of what your partner did.
I think that must be louder. Your bitterness is your choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they say pain is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. Same thing. Bitterness, completely optional. It's what you choose to hold on to because you're not willing to let go of it, because until you see them getting their own back and all the justice and, you know,
redemption.
Yeah, no. Get off your soapbox. You might hurt yourself.
Beyonce made an entire album, by the way. It's called Lemonade. Adele, what did she do with betrayal? She sings once a year because of betrayal.
And then you get some people, I won't mention the names, but they actually go and look to have relationships so that they can be betrayed, so that they have something to sing about. And if you're in that camp, we'll share my number after this.
Oh my gosh. On a billboard, because my goodness, the soul searching is real. It's real. And you know, often when we say surviving betrayal, they're like, yeah, this is for me. I've been betrayed. They're going to talk about tips on how to heal, tips on how to deal, who the perpetrator is, lambaste that person. You know, this is something, I'm sure some people texted, they were like, listen to this. And then they texted, put it off. It's not what we thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's difficult. Facing yourself is difficult.
It is.
Accepting accountability. Why is it so difficult for us to accept when we are so hardwired to say, no, I could have never done anything I did would never justify what this person did to me.
Whenever you see things that way or you believe things that way, you're not seeing yourself. You're seeing yourself through what you think other people will see you, and then you building up this elaborate defense in your mind about why it is that they will understand that I wasn't wrong. Hold yourself accountable, not in the court of public opinion. Hold yourself accountable according to your own standards.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, and it's based completely on transactions and commitments and expectations, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You can't show up for someone fully if you don't even know what it looks like to be present.
What does it look like to be present?
You're not defined by everything your partner does. You can feel affected by it, you can be hurt by it, you can be disappointed by it, but it doesn't define you or the relationship. You must be two individuals who are wholesome in your own right, that are coming together to share and create something.
All right.
You can't be looking for someone to complete you.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you that, but I was afraid that you would be triggered when people say, you complete me.
Yes, and then they stop completing you, and then you feel incomplete, and then you feel betrayed.
Right. So what does that leave us in danger of?
You're placing too much responsibility on your partner.
Yeah.
And if you place too much responsibility on your partner for how it is that you need them to show up before you're going to be okay, that's a burden. That's a massive burden. And as much as they might love and care for you and cherish what it is that the two of you set out to achieve together and all of that, it wears people down. Because if you're going to place that burden on them, be sure that you are willing to accept that burden from them as well.
Of course. And when you are also in a relationship, you betray your partner when you constantly ask them to sacrifice their needs for your needs or for your family.
If you love me, you'll do this.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah, if you love me, you'll do this. And there's a scorecard that people keep. Yeah, but I did that for you. And then now I'm asking you to do this. It's a big ask from you. You know, that's the kind of things that start boiling and bottling and all of that leads to that one moment. But like we said, it's a straw that breaks the camel's back.
And remember, if you're still operating in that way in your marriage, you're operating as if you're still in a high school romance.
Yeah.
It's out of touch with reality. Adulting doesn't work that way, and life doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So if you're still keeping score, and like, I did this for you, so you need to do that for me, and all of the scorekeeping and this tit for tat and this if you love me, you'll do this, and no, you can laugh and joke with each other about it, no problem. But if that's like genuinely, seriously the way it is that you want to guilt your partner into doing something that you want them to do, you're setting yourself up for a lot of pain.
I just have to mention a big shout out because it's actually my mom who says that a lot of aunties and uncles are going to fight.
Fight clean, please. Fight clean.
Put the welling down.
And don't bring in his parents or her parents.
It's, in an argument is the easiest time people betray each other.
Yes.
Out of anger.
Because then you want to like go where you know you shouldn't.
Yes.
Because I have to have impact.
Yeah. Yo, that impact that I want to hit where it hurts.
Yeah.
But it's so true. And I'm glad that we can laugh about it because betrayal is something that people brought out the tissues for.
Yes.
And that's the thing is, no, it's one thing that happened to you, but doesn't have to affect every single area of your life.
Yes. And what is it that we need to repair after betrayal? It's trust.
Trust, yeah.
And trust is not, please, you can actually take a note of this if you want to. Trust is not a commitment. Trust is not a promise. Trust is about credibility that's developed over time through consistency in how we show up. Consistency. So you can't promise to show up. You have to just show up. You can't make a commitment to never do it again. You must be reassuring about the fact that you know you did it.
Yeah.
And you have to accept accountability for the impact of what you've done, not just for the fact that you did it and you apologize and you ask for forgiveness and you promise not to do it again.
Yes.
Similarly, in reverse, if you know you contributed something that created distance and pushed your partner away, and that's why they unintentionally found comfort in someone else's words, and then sometimes you have what they call this emotional betrayal, even though there wasn't a physical betrayal and all of that. it's still a betrayal of trust. But you need to understand, why is it that you didn't realize that your partner needed something from you that you were shutting them down about, because you were having your bleeding heart syndrome, making everything about you. And then when they finally found someone else that understood, then you want to get jealous about it and you want to get bitter about it. No, come on. Be real and be honest. Hold yourself accountable for the contribution that you made towards the situation you find yourself in. It's not to condone or defend or justify what they did. But if you don't hold yourself accountable for your contribution, you're not going to get a fair outcome in how to move forward.
Yeah. And you're going to repeat it in future relationships.
Yes.
Even if you this one ends and you're like, oh, it's better we just went our separate ways.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing things the same way.
But what's one of the most common outcomes of something like this? They stay together for the kids.
Oh, yes, that's a very big one.
And when they stay together for the kids without that being resolved, what kind of a value system are the kids growing up in? And if you think that you protected your kids from it, no, you didn't. Because they're experiencing the tension and the contention and that uneasiness of the environment in which parents don't trust each other.
Is divorce the worst thing that can happen?
No, it isn't. But it's also not the go-to, right? We need to make sure that the solution we're looking at is solving the right problem.
True.
So what was the reason for getting to that point of betrayal of trust? Solve that.
Yeah.
And if you can meaningfully solve that, and both parties mature in the process, and I'm saying mature in the process because there was a portion of immaturity that led to the fact that you actually betrayed each other or betrayed your partner, right? So mature together through the process and understand, what problem are you solving? And if the problem you're solving is something that gives you assurance that yes, it is meaningfully resolved and you know better for future, then you create an opportunity to do better.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to be in your feelings all the time and like, no, betrayed and trust is gone and you can never trust again and all of that, then be sure you hold yourself to the same standard when you let someone down.
You know, I have this question lingering in my mind about, when you ask someone why, they must be ready to answer you.
Yes.
That's a mature conversation. That, are you ready to answer? And I'll be ready to answer. But when I ask you why you did it, there's always a I don't know.
True. And sometimes it's true that they don't know, right? Which means that their self-awareness is not where it needs to be, which is why they lost themselves to that behavior in the first place. But there's another darker side to that I want to talk about before we run out of time.
Yeah.
And that is that the person who was betrayed usually pushes and insists on a level of detail of what transpired, not because it's solving the problem, but because they want to humiliate, and they want to embarrass, and they want to shame their partner. And not only that, they're looking for all of that so that they can accumulate all the evidence and all the points and all the trumpets and trinkets and everything, so that in the future, if their partner just goes slightly in that direction, then it's like, I'm not them. Why are you asking me to do that? You think I'm like this, and you think I'm like that, and you think I'm your whore, you think I'm your gigolo, or whatever it is. And that's why, like, be fair about what it is you're trying to resolve when you're having that conversation. If you're just looking to shame and humiliate them because you feel humiliated, then you're no better than them.
Yeah. I like what you said about pain.
Yeah.
And suffering. Can you please repeat that for our mental notes?
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You choose whether you want to suffer over something for a long time, whether you want to be bitter over it for a long time. And if you choose bitterness and suffering, then you've lost sight of the value of life, because it comes at a cost. Everything in life comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And the cost of that is wasted opportunity, wasted life, wasted experiences, wasted interactions, wasted time with loved ones. All of that because you're so consumed by anger and bitterness and betrayal and all of those things. So this might sound harsh, but you literally, the first thing you need to focus on after betrayal is you need to get over yourself. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Yes, you experienced it. It hurt. It shattered your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. It forced you to reconsider everything you thought was sacred about life and about what the future holds. That's the jolt. That's that shock wave, right? Allow it to hit. Process it. Work through it meaningfully. But don't stop there. Don't stay there.
True.
Once you've reconciled it in your mind and you understand and you've had the conversations that are possible to have, and that's why I'm saying it's what's possible. It's not always going to be possible for you to have a meaningful conversation with someone who betrayed you, because they are at a point where they might not have the presence of mind or the self-esteem to be able to have an honest conversation about it.
Yeah.
So then you're going to put yourself on hold because like you don't have closure.
Yeah.
No, it's possible to have closure without that. And that's all dependent on how much you are willing to reflect and understand and then move on.
I think those are such pertinent points. And I think we really need to touch on a few things going forward. And one of them is that accountability. What is so horrific about holding oneself accountable? And also the accumulation of the data, so
Yes.
that it results in the ultimate humiliation.
Yes.
Like, this is wow. This is
I want them to feel how they made me feel.
yes. It's just a form of redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's revenge. It's vengeance.
it's vengeance.
And like they say, when you set out for
Yeah.
vengeance, dig two graves.
Yeah, and the person is like, I'm healed. I'm fine.
No, you're not. The fact that you need to talk about it, that you can say you're healed, means you're not healed.
Absolutely. Coach Zaid, today has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. The time often runs out so fast. But we know we are seeing you next week, inshallah, between
Inshallah.
9 and 10 right here on the Chat Network. Any parting shots for our listeners?
Betrayal is not the end of the road. Betrayal is just a point in time that gives you reason to stop and pay attention to what it is that you didn't think was a problem. Reflect, take stock, take accountability, and then decide meaningfully whether or not it's something that you're willing to move beyond or something you want to move away from. And
Wow.
make the decision for the right reasons. Don't make it out of bitterness.
Yeah.
Like they say, the speech you make when you're angry is the greatest speech you'll regret.
Yeah.
Same thing with decisions.
Yeah.
Don't ever make big decisions when you are emotionally charged about life.
Yeah.
Please don't. Because you don't live in a bubble. Those decisions will affect people around you, and you'll only discover afterwards what impact you've had because you were so consumed by bitterness and anger and all of that.
Wow, what a cost. What a
It's
cost.
massive.
It's a massive costing. Thank you so much, Jazakallah khair, and we will be back with Coach Zaid next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.